It's 5:45 p.m., which means it's time for BCTV's weekly Media Roundup 545 Live. I'm Roland Boyden.
And I'm Abby Sherlock. On deck tonight, footage from the Townsend gazebo as a drunk driving accident made national headlines, hot off the press, dollar amounts from the Vermont Yankee Decommissioning Trust Fund 2016 report, and the Brattleboro Select Board confirms their plans to turn town meeting reps loose on the police-fired upgrade location.
All that and more in just 15 minutes, so if you've got the time and the attention span, stick with us.
Welcome back to this January 29th, 2016 edition of 545 Live. That's footage from this month's Wyndham Orchestra performance at the Latches, recorded by 545 Live correspondent James Van Slaben. Now, in its second week of broadcast right here on BCTV Channel 8, and of course streaming online at brattleboro.tv.org.
All right, and with that, into the headlines we go, and we'll start by heading north to Townsend, where a story involving the gazebo on the Townsend Common managed to capture the attention of national media after Connecticut resident 71-year-old David Page missed the corner while speeding on Route 30 last Friday night, sending his vehicle careening into the gazebo on the Common, a gazebo that was constructed back in 1988 by a Hollywood art department for the Chevy Chase film Funny Farm, which filmed on location in Townsend. Now, according to the VSP report on the incident, David Page did fail a field sobriety test with a .18 blood alcohol content at the time of the incident. Now, thanks to Russ Graybeck, who went out there and got some footage of the gazebo after all those national headlines hit, so we could show you some of the damage there on 545 Live.
Well, with the 2016 calendar year beginning, officials at Vermont Yankee have had to file the year-end dollar amounts from the Plant's Decommissioning Trust Fund with the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, with VY External Affairs Manager Joe Lynch speaking publicly about those latest fund numbers for the first time this week when he joined Energy VY Senior Communications Specialist and host of the BCTV series Safe Store Matters, Marty Cohn, for a special edition that included summing up all the happenings at the plant in the last year, including revealing that after the first year, the move to dry cask storage at VY is ahead of schedule and under budget.
The good news is we are under budget with the project. We set forth a budget which we sent to the NRC. So we are under budget and we are below where we expected to be. So very happy that the project right now is on course and the trust looks healthy at this point.
Now, according to Lynch, a little under 10% of the trust, or roughly $69 million, was spent this year, an amount that includes decommissioning work at the plant as well as the administrative costs and taxes associated with running the trust.
Now, if you want to see more from Joe as he spoke with Marty and kind of did a full summary of the 2015 year at the plant, you can find the latest episode of Safe Store Matters at BrattleboroTV.org, where Safe Store Matters has its own series landing page, and it'll show right here on BCTV Channel 8 for the next 2 weeks as well.
Next up, a breakthrough for Brat PD in an ongoing fraudulent transaction case came from a police department in Utah after officers making an arrest in a separate case in the Salt Lake State discovered an $800 ring in possession of one of the apprehended suspects, and it was thanks to the work of local officers Corretto and Emery in their own local investigation that the ring, a family heirloom in addition to its hefty price tag, was able to be returned to its rightful owner here in Brattleboro.
Next up, big news for the Commons this week as they announced via a full-page spread in their weekly paper that they were able to meet their $15,000 fundraising goal, which means they'll now be able to seek a subsequent match of $15,000 from the Thompson Trust. This is big news for the local paper, who announced early this year plans to try and move toward a daily online publication. in addition to their weekly physical paper, a move they're looking to have made by early 2017. And while they have reached their dollar amount goal in this particular campaign, that doesn't mean the bank is closed for them as they continue to look for donations that will help staff their commitment to local news. Now, for more information on all of this, you can check it out at their official website, commonsnews.org. Next, we'll take you back to the Brattleboro Area Chamber of Commerce annual Chamber Awards this week as the Reformer Christmas Stocking Board was named Person of the Year and WKVT was named Corporate Citizen of the Year, something BCTV's Joe Bushy was on hand to gather footage of as KVT personality Peter Fish Case accepted the award on behalf of WKVT.
So on behalf of the staff at WKVT and myself, I really do and honestly thank you all.
Next up, we reported last week the board's 4-1 decision to endorse a move to acquire property on Black Mountain Road as a possible relocation for the Brattleboro Police Station as they continue to seek taxpayer and town meeting reps support to upgrade the current facilities here at 230 Main Street, a facility whose problems have now been well documented on the local level, but something BCTV producer James Bansleben has been working a special report for, something that will show in its entirety as a 10-minute special next week, but something we've got just a short clip of for you now.
A bunch of the ceiling tiles in here were recently replaced, although this one wasn't. You can see the watermarks on that.
Right.
The reason that these all had these terrible water stains is not because the roof leaks. The roof is 3 floors above us. It's because tucked up in here is an air conditioning unit because there's nowhere else to put an air conditioning unit. So when it freezes up or when it breaks, it leaks. And you know, in the summertime, every once in a while, we'll have a bucket here in the middle catching the leaks from the air conditioning unit.
Thanks, James, for putting together that special. I took some footage from not one, but 3 different special police fire public outreach meetings that the town hosted, and then also a tour led here by Brat PD around the building showing some of the shortcomings when they try and do police work here in this 230 Main Street space. Look forward to seeing that full piece there. That was just a short clip. All right, next up we head north to the State House, where the Vermont House has approved the budget by a vote of 90 to 54 in spite of significant opposition to the $5.6 billion budget in play here. A budget figure that, if kept intact, is a 2.5% increase from last year. And while House Republicans like West Rutland's Tom Burdett were documented on the House floor this week as calling the budget adjustments, quote, out of control, end quote, defenders of the budget pointed out that a huge percentage of the increase is at the hands of federal decisions over health care, in particular Medicare and Medicaid, and all of that falls out of the state's jurisdiction. Now, any countermeasures to address that increase would mean seeing over $70 million of cuts needed to be dished out in other areas around Vermont, something most legislators agree just isn't doable.
This year we're talking an astronomical $88 million. When does it stop? If next year the amount drops by 2/3 again, as it has 2 of the last 4 years, we're still looking at nearly $30 million shortfall next year.
All right, with that, it's time to launch into our BCTV video calendar, which is all sponsored by the Brattleboro Savings and Loan, whose generous contributions to BCTV each year help fund our weekly look at upcoming events. And we'll start by talking about the Brattleboro Music Center's annual Northern Roots Festival, which returns to the area this weekend with a series of performances at the New England Youth Theater, as well as much beloved pub sings hosted at McNeil's. Info on the timing for all these events, ticket info, and more can be found at the Brattleboro Music Center's official website, bmcvt.org.
Next up on our calendar, a reminder that it's tax season, and while that can seem a daunting task for many, United Way of Windham County is offering help, as in addition to several great online free resources, the Windham County chapter of United Way is again this year operating a volunteer income tax assistance, or VITA, site in Brattleboro, where IRS-certified volunteers provide free tax preparation to eligible taxpayers earning up to $53,000 per year. VITA services are provided by appointment on Wednesdays and Saturdays beginning February 4th. Now, you can call 211 to make an appointment at a location near you. For more information, you can visit the United Way Windham County's official website, which is unitedwaywindham.org, or call their phone number 802-257-4011. That does it for this week's edition of the calendar, but we want to quickly tease what's coming up in future weeks of the calendar here, as we're going to get ready to do a big special on BUHS and their music department as they get set to present Rent. Of course, Harris Hill Ski Jump is on the way as well. We'll have plenty of fanfare for that, and it's Valentine's Day coming up, so we've got some Valentine's Day events around the area as well. Plenty to look forward to on coming editions of the calendar.
That does it for another edition of 545 Live. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week right here on BCTV Comcast Cable Channel 8 at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Time. In the meantime, thanks for watching.
Hi, Roland from BCTV 545 News. It's Jonathan Cow at Harris Hill.